Rest now. This is Pillowside Night Stories. Tonight is a sleep story for adults, set high inside the clock tower of an old town hall, while rain taps the stone below. Somewhere above you, a steady ticking is keeping time for an entire town. And tonight, it keeps time for you. You are inside now. The heavy door has closed behind you. The rain that was cold against your coat is no longer a threat. It is merely a distant song against the stone, growing softer with each moment. And beneath every other sound, you hear it. The ticking, coming from somewhere above, through the ceiling, through the stone, through the bones of the building itself. Regular as breathing, steady as a pulse. It has been counting seconds through storms like this one, through winters and summers, through quiet nights when the square was empty and the town was asleep. A door opens at the far end of the hall. A man steps through, perhaps 65, with gray hair cut short and spectacles that catch the lamplight. His face is weathered but gentle, the face of someone who has spent his life doing quiet work in quiet places. He wears a wool cardigan the color of oatmeal, buttoned to the collar, and his shoes make almost no sound on the stone. He carries a small brass lamp that casts a warm circle around him. The kind of lamp that was made when this building was new, and still works perfectly because it was made to last. He does not seem surprised to see you. Wet night. His voice is soft, unhurried, the voice of someone who speaks only when words are needed. The tower's warm, if you're looking to wait out the rain, warmer than down here. He introduces himself simply, Mr. Hollis, the clock keeper. He has been winding this clock for 40 years. His father wound it before him, and his grandfather before that. 3 generations of the same family, climbing the same stairs, tending the same mechanism. He gestures toward a narrow door behind him, wooden, rounded at the top, with a brass handle that matches the lamp. Come up, if you like. The sound is better from inside. You hang your damp coat on a wooden peg by the door. The wool is heavy with rain, and it drips quietly onto the stone floor beneath. A small puddle forms, catching the lamplight. Your umbrella finds a brass stand in the corner, clicking softly against the metal as you set it down. The fabric is still wet, still carrying the cold of the night outside, but you are leaving all of that behind now. Already the warmth of the hall is reaching you. A radiator ticks quietly against the far wall, old cast iron painted cream, doing its quiet work. The heat rises gently, finding your hands, your face, the places where the rain had touched you. The entrance hall is old and kind. Stone floors worn smooth by 200 years of footsteps, dipping gently in the center where generations have walked the same path. The ceiling rises high above, disappearing into gentle shadow. portraits line the walls. Men and women in formal dress, the mayors and council members of another century. Gold frames, dark oils, faces that have watched over this town for longer than anyone can remember. Their expressions are welcoming in the soft light, as if they approve of travelers seeking shelter from the rain. A wooden bench sits against one wall, polished by years of waiting. Above it, a notice board holds papers that flutter slightly in the warmth from the radiator. The ordinary business of a town that keeps on living. But you do not linger to study them, because Mr. Hollis is already walking toward the narrow door, his lamp swinging gently with each step. And you follow, because the rain is still falling outside, and the ticking above sounds like something worth hearing closer. The door opens onto a staircase. Narrow, wooden, spiraling upward into the warm dark of the tower. Mr. Hollis begins to climb, and you follow him into the heart of time. The stairs are older than they look. Oak, Mr. Hollis mentions without turning. Cut from trees that stood in this valley 300 years ago, before the town was here, before the roads were paved. The wood has darkened with age, worn smooth in the center of each step, where feet have fallen for generations. You can feel the dip beneath your shoes, the gentle curve where the wood has given way to time. Each step slightly different from the last, each one shaped by all the feet that came before yours. Your hand finds the railing, iron, forged by hand in a smithy that no longer exists, by a craftsman whose name no one remembers. Cold for a moment, then warming beneath your palm. The surface is smooth in places where thousands of hands have gripped it, rough in places where the iron was left to age. You can almost feel them, all those hands, all those nights, all those people climbing toward the same ticking that draws you upward now. The staircase spirals, round and round, following the inside of the tower like the chambers of a shell. The walls curve with it, stone that was cut to fit this shape, mortar that has held for 2 centuries. The lamp in Mr. Hollis's hand casts moving shadows as you climb. They dance on the stone like something alive. Each turn reveals a small window, half moon-shaped, set deep into the wall, the glass thick and old. Through them, you catch glimpses of the town below. Street lamps glowing amber through the rain, rooftops glistening with water, the church spire dark against the gray sky, chimney pots and slate tiles, the shapes of a town that has been here for centuries. With every step upward, the sound of the world below grows thinner. The wind, the rain, the distant concerns of the square, they are staying down there. You are rising above them. Each step carries you further from the cold, further from the wet, further from everything that was pressing against you before you found this door. Mr. Hollis counts the steps without seeming to. A habit, he says. 87, from bottom to top. He has climbed them thousands of times. In winter, when frost forms on the inside of the windows. In summer, when the tower holds the day's warmth long into the night. In the small hours of morning when the town sleeps and only the clock keeps watch. He has climbed them at midnight and at dawn. Climbed them when his hair was dark and his legs were young, and climbed them now when his hair is gray and his breath comes slower on the turns. 87 steps. Always the same number. Always the same stairs. Your footsteps sound different here than they did below. Softer than on stone, but present. The wood speaks beneath your weight. Not a creak of complaint, but a voice of recognition. The sound of something that knows it is being used for its purpose. Something that was made to be climbed and is glad to be climbed still. Step after step, the rhythm finds you without asking. Each step, a breath in. Each landing, a breath out. You do not need to count. The stairs count themselves. And the ticking grows louder with each turn. Not faster, just closer. What was distant is becoming near. What was hidden is about to be revealed. The air changes as you climb. Warmer now, drier, and there is a scent you notice for the first time. Clean and old at the same time. The smell of beeswax on oak. The mineral sweetness of brass oil. The dry, soft scent of paper that has recorded decades of careful notes. The smell of a machine that has been loved and tended for generations. Through the windows, the town grows smaller. You are above the rooftops now. You can see the pattern of the streets, the way they wind and turn, following paths that were footpaths once. The rain falls at an angle, pushed by wind you cannot feel inside these walls. Below, the street lamps look like fallen stars, their light scattered and soft through the water that runs down the glass. Mr. Hollis pauses at step 50, not to rest, but to listen. You can feel it now, he says quietly. The vibration in the walls. That's the mechanism. It's been running since 1847. Hasn't stopped once. Not for war, not for storm, not for anything. You press your palm against the stone. And yes, there it is. A tremor so faint you might imagine it. A pulse that travels through the tower itself, through the mortar and the stone and the iron, into your hand. The building is breathing around you. The clock is alive inside the walls. The last steps pass in their own time. 60, 70, 80, 87. A wooden door waits at the top, low and rounded, with iron hinges that have turned green with age. The wood is thick, made to muffle sound, made to keep the mechanism safe from dust and weather. Mr. Hollis pauses, his hand on the latch. Most people never see this, he says. They look at the clock face from the square. They hear the chime from their beds, but they never meet the heart of it. He lifts the latch. The iron makes a soft sound, metal against metal. He opens the door, and the heart of the clock is waiting. The room is smaller than you expected, perhaps 15 feet across, circular, following the shape of the tower. The walls are the same pale stone as below, but here they are lined with wooden shelves holding tools wrapped in cloth, small bottles of oil with brass caps, spare parts that gleam dull gold in the lamplight. A workbench sits beneath one window, its surface scarred by years of careful work. A leather chair, worn soft at the arms and seat, waits in the corner. The air is different here. Warmer, richer. The scent of brass oil reaches you first, clean and mineral. The smell of machinery that works the way it should. Then the dry sweetness of aged oak. Then something else beneath it all. The soft smell of paper and leather. 40 years of careful notes recorded in a book that rests in its drawer. But all of this is backdrop, because in the center of the room stands the clock. Not a clock face, the mechanism itself, the engine that drives everything. A construction of brass and steel that rises from the floor nearly to the ceiling, held within a frame of black iron. A tower within a tower. A machine made by hands that have been dust for nearly 2 centuries. And it is beautiful. The gears turn slowly. Large ones the size of dinner plates, their teeth cut with a precision that still holds true after all these years. Smaller ones no bigger than coins, spinning in their own quiet orbits. They mesh together without friction, each rotation calculated by engineers who built things to last, because lasting was the only option. Chains descend from the upper works, heavy and dark, supporting weights that drop imperceptibly as the hours pass. When they reach the bottom, Mr. Hollis will wind them back to the top. That is his work. That is why he climbs the 87 stairs every Tuesday. And at the center, the pendulum. Brass, polished by years of swinging through air grown thick with oil and time. Perhaps 4 feet long, ending in a disc that catches the lamplight as it moves. Left then right, then left again. A slow arc, patient and endless, the anchor that keeps everything steady. Tick. The sound is different here. Fuller, richer. You can hear the layers of it now. The escape wheel releasing, the pallet catching, the pendulum pushing through its arc. What sounded like one sound from below is actually many sounds woven together. A small orchestra of metal and motion, playing the same piece it has played since 1847. Talk. Mr. Hollis sets his lamp on the workbench. The light catches the brass, turns the gears to gold. He moves around the mechanism with the ease of long familiarity, his hands finding surfaces you cannot name, checking things you cannot see. He reaches into his cardigan pocket and pulls out a small square of velvet. Deep blue, soft and worn from years of use. Without speaking, he begins to wipe one of the brass gears. Gentle circles, unhurried strokes, removing dust that has gathered since his last visit. The velvet whispers against the metal, a sound so small you feel it more than hear it. Swish, swish, the sound of care made audible. Then he reaches for something else. A glass bottle, palm-sized, with a brass cap worn smooth by handling. Oil. He unscrews the cap slowly, and the scent grows stronger. Clean and mineral and old. He touches the dropper to a single point on the mechanism. One drop. No more. You hear it. The tiniest click as the oil finds its place. And then, beneath that click, a change in the ticking. Smoother now. Softer. As if the clock itself has sighed. She tells you what she needs, Mr. Hollis says quietly. You just have to listen. He returns the oil to its place on the shelf. Then he moves to the workbench and opens a drawer. Inside, a leather notebook, the cover dark and worn at the edges. He picks up a pencil, short from years of sharpening, and writes something brief. You cannot see the words, but you can imagine them. A date, a note, oiled, running well, rainy night. The winding log, a record of every visit for 40 years. Every adjustment, every observation, every quiet night spent in the company of the clock. Mr. Hollis returns the notebook to its drawer. Then he reaches into his pocket once more and removes a single key. Not a ring of keys. Not a collection. One key. Brass, perhaps 3 inches long, with a handle shaped for gripping. The winding key, the tool that keeps the clock alive. I wind it every Tuesday, he says. But the mechanism has enough for 3 days. Tonight it's content. He sets the key on the workbench, where it will wait for Tuesday. Then he crosses to the window and stands looking out. The window is round, like a porthole on a ship. Through it, you can see the town spread below. The square where you walked an hour ago. The church with its dark spire. Streets that twist and turn in the old way. And above it all, rain falling steady, washing everything clean. 40 years I've been climbing those stairs, Mr. Hollis says, not turning from the window. And I still like the view from up here. Different every night, somehow. Same town, same rooftops. But the light changes, the weather changes, and it always feels new. He is quiet for a moment. The clock fills the silence. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Then he turns to you. The chair's comfortable. Stay as long as you like. He picks up his lamp, leaving the other one burning low on the workbench. The clock will keep you company. It's good at that. He moves toward the door, pauses with his hand on the frame. The 11 o'clock chime will come soon. You'll want to feel it. Put your hand on the wall when you sense the vibration starting. It's something to remember. And then he is gone. His footsteps fade down the spiral stairs. 87 steps, growing quieter, then silent. You are alone with the clock. And somehow, that feels exactly right. The minutes pass slowly here. Not because you are waiting, but because time moves differently in this room. Each second is marked, counted, given its full weight. The pendulum swings through its arc. Left, right, left, right. And the gears turn their steady circles, carrying the minutes forward one by one. You settle into the leather chair. The seat is shaped by 40 years of Mr. Hollis sitting here, keeping watch. It holds you easily, as if it has been waiting for someone new. The arms are smooth where hands have rested. The back curves to meet your shoulders. Even the leather smells right. Old and warm and used in the best way. Through the round window, the rain continues. You can see it now, streaming down the glass in silver lines, following the curve of the frame. The street lamps below are soft smudges of amber. The world outside is blurred, indistinct. But in here, everything is precise. Every gear, every tooth, every swing of the pendulum, exactly where it should be. Tick. The clock does not hurry. It has no reason to hurry. It has been doing this work since 1847 and will continue long after this night ends. Each tick is given freely. Each tuck follows without rush. Tuck. You let your eyes rest on the pendulum. The brass catches the lamplight as it swings. A gentle pulse of gold, appearing and disappearing. You could watch it forever. Your eyelids soften as it swings. Your jaw unclenches. The thinking mind grows quiet. Left, right, left, right. The rain on the window, the ticking of the clock, your own breathing, finding its place among the other rhythms. Not trying to match them, just resting alongside them. The lamp burns low on the workbench. The shadows in the corners are soft, not sharp. The mechanism turns in its frame, doing what it has always done, what it will always do. And then something changes. A gear you had not noticed before begins to turn. Set apart from the main works, larger than the others, it moves with deliberate slowness, engaging with something deeper in the mechanism, preparing. You feel the tower tighten as if taking a careful breath. The vibration in the walls grows stronger. You remember what Mr. Hollis said. You rise from the chair and cross to the wall. Press your palm against the stone. It is cool and solid, but beneath your hand, you can feel it. A gathering, a tremor building in the bones of the tower itself. The clock is about to speak. The first chime does not come from above. It comes from everywhere. The bell is hidden somewhere higher in the tower, in a space you cannot see. But the sound travels down through wood and iron and stone until it fills the chamber. A deep tone, lower than you expected. Not the bright ring of a small bell. Something older, rounder. A sound that settles into your chest rather than striking your ears. The vibration passes through your hand, up your arm, into your shoulders. You feel the chime as much as hear it. It moves through you like warmth, like recognition. Then silence. Not true silence, but the ticking continuing beneath, steady as ever, waiting for the next. The second chime comes, the same deep tone, the same vibration passing through the wall, through your hand, through your body. You can feel it in your ribs now. A resonance that hums and fades, hums and fades. 3, 4, 5. Each chime comes slowly. Perhaps 3 seconds between, long enough for the sound to almost disappear before the next one begins. Long enough for you to feel the absence before it is filled again. 6, 7. The rain continues outside. The pendulum continues its arc. But for these moments, the clock is doing something more than keeping time. It is announcing itself, reminding the sleeping town that it is still here, still counting, still keeping watch. 8, 9, 10. The vibration softens beneath your palm. 11. And then stillness. The ticking returns to its solitary work. The gears continue their turning. The pendulum swings through its arc as if nothing happened. But something has shifted. The air feels different now. Settled. Like the moment after a deep exhale. Like the town has been told the time and can now rest easy. You stand at the wall for a long moment, your hand still pressed to the stone. The last of the vibration fades. The rain whispers against the window. And somewhere below, in the sleeping houses of the town, perhaps someone turned in their bed and thought, half dreaming, that they heard the clock. That time was passing safely, the way it should. You return to the chair. The leather welcomes you back. The lamp burns lower on the workbench. The mechanism continues its work, unhurried and endless. And you are not alone. The clock is with you. The town is below you. The rain is all around, and all of it is keeping time together. The chair supports you now. Not just your weight, but something more. The tension you carried up the stairs. The chill from the rain. The day that came before this night. All of it accepted by the worn leather, settled into place. Mr. Hollis left a blanket folded on the workbench. You did not notice it before. Wool the color of heather, soft from many washings. You pull it over your lap, tuck it around your shoulders. The weight rests against you. Warm, familiar. The kind of warmth that asks nothing in return. Through the round window, the town sleeps. The rain has softened to a mist now, barely visible against the glass. The street lamps glow their quiet amber. The church spire stands dark against clouds that are beginning to thin. Perhaps, by morning, the sky will clear. But morning is far away. And tonight, there is only this: the ticking, the warmth, the chair that supports you, the blanket that covers you, the mechanism that keeps its steady count. Tick. Feel where your feet rest on the floor. The boards are old beneath them, worn by the same years that wore the stairs, the chair, the edges of the workbench. Your feet have carried you here, up 87 steps, into a room that most people will never see. Let them rest now. Let the floor take their weight. They have done their work for today. Talk. Feel your ankles grow heavy, the small joints softening, releasing whatever they were carrying. You did not know there was tension there until it begins to leave. But now that it is going, you can feel the difference. A loosening, a letting go. Tick. Your calves relax. The muscles that carried you up the spiral staircase, that kept you standing while the chimes rang through the chamber. They soften now. Sink into the support of the chair. Let the leather take their weight. Talk. Your knees release. Your thighs grow heavy. The whole length of your legs settling deeper, as if the chair knows how to take what you need to give. The pendulum swings through its arc. You can hear it beneath the ticking. The soft rush of brass through air. Left and right. Left and right. Your hands rest on the arms of the chair, the same place where Mr. Hollis has rested his hands for 40 years. The leather is warm here, shaped by all that resting. Let your fingers uncurl. Let your palms soften. You have nothing left to grip tonight. Nothing to carry. Nothing to hold. Your shoulders drop. They have been carrying something all day. The weight of moving through the world, of making decisions, of paying attention to everything that needed attention. But here, in this chamber, there is nothing that requires your attention. The clock does its own work. The pendulum swings without help. You can let your shoulders fall, and nothing will change except how you feel. Your neck releases. Your head settles back against the chair. There is a place there, worn soft by all the heads that have rested before yours. It fits you perfectly. Notice your breathing. You do not need to change it. Only notice the air coming in through your nose, carrying the scent of brass and oil and old wood and rain. The air going out through your mouth, slow and easy, taking nothing with it except what you no longer need. Each tick is a permission. Each talk is a release. The clock has been keeping time for this town since 1847. Through storms and stillness, through winters and summers, through generations born and gone, through everything that has changed and everything that has stayed the same. And tonight, just for now, it keeps time for you too. Your eyes grow heavy. Through the round window, the clouds are moving. Somewhere behind them, the moon waits. Somewhere below, the town sleeps in its beds, trusting the clock to count the hours while they dream. You can trust it too. Let your eyes close. Not because you must, but because there is nothing left that needs seeing. The mechanism is inside you now. The brass gears, the iron frame, the pendulum swinging its slow arc. All of it resting beside your breathing, steady and quiet and sure. The rain whispers against the glass. The lamp glows low on the workbench. The winding key waits for Tuesday. The leather notebook rests in its drawer. The velvet cloth lies folded beside the oil. Mr. Hollis will climb again on Tuesday. Tonight, the clock keeps watch for both of you. The ticking keeps going. Steady, kind, unhurried, and you do not have to follow it. Let it be the town's work, not yours. Your thoughts can thin like mist on the square below, until there is only warmth in the chair and the soft weight of the blanket and a quiet rhythm that asks nothing of you. The rain is easing over the rooftops, over the church, over the streets that will shine clean by morning. The pendulum swings. The tower stands. And you sleep deeply and easily while time keeps itself.